Hey everyone, it's Tamara. I hope you're all doing well. As most of you know, I'm currently working my way through a master's degree at Arizona State University online. I've decided to put something together to help answer the most common question I get asked about my degree.
What is biomimicry?
I hope this little animation helps clear up some of the confusion on the topic. So what is biomimicry? Well, the word, from the Greek word bios, meaning life, and mimesis, meaning imitate, literally translates to imitate life. So biomimicry is the practice of imitating life. One of my favorite biomimicry examples to give comes from my own professional mothership in healthcare. Catheter-associated urinary tract infections, or CAUTIs in medical jargon, are a costly problem in the healthcare industry. Bacteria from outside the body can use the urinary catheter as a ladder to climb into the body, causing a urinary tract infection. UTIs lengthen a patient's stay in the hospital and increase the cost of their care. And the worst part is, they are preventable. It's even gotten to the point to where the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid no longer reimburse hospitals for the increased costs associated with CAUTIs. That's $400 million in the United States every year that eventually must be paid by the patient. In response to this issue, a biotechnology company headquartered in Colorado called Sharklet Technologies created a urinary catheter that has a surface that mimics shark skin. If you look at shark skin under a microscope, it has a repeating pattern that keeps bacteria from being able to adhere to the shark. By mimicking this microscopic design in the production of the urinary catheter, now we have this product that bacteria can no longer adhere to in order to climb into the body and create a UTI. In fact, the idea was so successful that Sharklet Technologies created a number of catheters, including central venous catheters, with the same slippery surface. So just this single idea plucked from the natural world and introduced into human design is helping decrease catheter-associated infections in the hospital. This translates to patients having much shorter hospital stays and saving enormous sums of money. Pretty cool, huh? There are a few different ways that humans borrow from nature, and not all of them are considered biomimicry solutions. There's bioutilization, where we use life to sustain us humans. Harvesting crops to feed and house us are an example of bioutilization. Then there's bioassisted, where we have an organism assist us in performing a function, such as purifying water with bacteria or creating silk material with silkworms. Then there's biomorphism, where the shapes, forms, and patterns of the natural world are studied and used in architectural design. These bio-inspired innovations can be well adapted or maladapted. If we are bio-utilizing a harvest crop, it would be maladapted if we over-harvested that crop. And if we sustainably harvested that crop, that would be a well-adapted bio-inspired innovation. When it comes to biomimicry, it too can be well adapted or maladapted. Like my urinary catheter example. Even though it saves hundreds of thousands of dollars and countless extended days in the hospital for patients, the process by which these catheters are created rely on the model of heat, beat, and treat, where limited resources are heated and chemically treated to create this single item. The amount of energy it takes to produce these catheters, along with the toxic byproducts that come from the process, are staggering in their negative environmental impact. So really, how is biomimicry a useful discipline? The thing I struggle with trying to get across to people who want to know about biomimicry is this. It's not just a way to create a bunch of cool gadgets copied from nature, but a way to look at the world and to ask, how does nature do X? Can we do X like nature does it? Can it be done in a way that encourages life and not destroys it? The way the biomimics answer these questions is by observing the natural world for solutions. One thing that's evident to even the most casual observer is that nature creates conditions conducive to more life. And it does this by following a set of principles that act as a system of checks and balances to keep life creating more life. In the practice of biomimicry, we call these life's principles. As biomimicry professionals, we use this list of principles to guide our ideas and designs, and as an evaluation checklist to see how those ideas and designs measure up to nature's genius. This way, before a product or service even makes it to the mainstream, the design is held to the standard of being sustainable and conducive to more life. So, just as an example, let's look at a tree through the lens of just one of the master principles, being locally attuned and responsive. A tree is locally attuned and responsive by shifting its energy use patterns in time with the seasons. It's not that the tree checks its calendar and says, "Whoop, first day of spring, better put out some flowers." No, the weather changes due to the orbit of the Earth around the sun. This increases temperatures and the amount of sunshine in our hemisphere where the tree lives, and it responds to these changes. So, in essence, the tree is leveraging these cyclic processes of the seasonal changes by using the readily available energy of the increased sunshine to create its food through photosynthesis to give it the power to focus on putting out blooms, which will help the tree cultivate cooperative relationships by attracting pollinators that fertilize the flowers, which help grow seeds, and so on. And by using the feedback loops built into the energy creation cycle, the tree now knows it can relax into the warmer season and put out fresh leaves to harvest the long days of sunshine. Incidentally, these are a list of sub-principles that all add up to create the master principle of being locally attuned and responsive. There are 6 master principles, and each has a short list of sub-principles. Taken as a whole, these act as guidelines that show us how nature's genius responds to the changing conditions of the earth to evolve and thrive. So by evaluating our ideas and products with these guidelines, we can gauge how sustainable something will be. Like the urinary catheter that I mentioned earlier, it passes the test when evaluated against this checklist, but only on some of the principles. On others, it falls short. The beauty of using life's principles is that while it shows us where we are failing to create things that are sustainable, it also acts as a behavioral blueprint that we can follow to help develop ways that these products can become conducive to life. For instance, the urinary catheter fails to follow the master principle of using life-friendly chemistry. If we can figure out a way to use naturally occurring biodegradable materials in a process that utilizes ambient temperatures to form that microscopic shark skin pattern, then the master principle of use life-friendly chemistry is now informing the design process. A biomimicry professional would say that while this catheter is helpful in the healthcare industry, in the long run, it harms nature. We humans are a part of nature, so we want products and services that can benefit the earth long term. So when I say to you that biomimicry is the conscious emulation of nature's genius, I hope this video has helped you understand exactly what I mean.